Good morning, everybody. Hope you're doing awesome. Want to help you get started this week in a very positive and proactive way. And a lot of this has to do with spring cleaning. So, depending on when you're listening to this, it might be a different time of year. It's the beginning of spring. And a lot of what goes on at this time of year in nature is we clean out old stuff and we focus on new stuff. And I'm going to suggest to you that in your business and in your life, that's going to be one of the most important things you can do right now to move forward and move forward powerfully. So there's a very basic concept in minimalism of people just taking care of their stuff where they say, if you haven't looked at something or used it in a year, you probably need to let go of it, or it's probably not serving you. It's probably creating extra maintenance for you. It's probably creating extra headaches for you. It just takes up space, whatever it might be. It's really probably time for it to move on. Similarly, there are projects that many of us hold on to for years that we're trying to let go of. We wish we were doing something different, but we're stuck doing it. And so we keep doing it. Now, if you look at the basic definition, a lot of people talk about of insanity of doing the same thing and expecting different results. Well, obviously, then this is not a good idea. So what I want to do is give you a set of questions to help you look at what you could do in your work. And these could apply to your life as well, but specifically, we're going to focus on work today. So you can do fewer things and take the same amount of time you have and focus it with greater focus on the things you're already doing. So the first thing we need to look at is what's not working. So what have you been wanting to let go of? Now, there's a lot of different reasons we might want to let go of things. We might not like it. They might not be profitable. But usually, if something has persistently come up year after year and you don't like doing it, there's usually a good reason for that. And it's a good reason for you to possibly look at getting rid of that. So what project or product or service is no longer profitable for you or enjoyable for you or as profitable as it could be? So maybe that project or that product is at a certain level of income, a certain level of impact, and you want to go to a different level. What is that? And what would it cost you in money if you let it go? That's one of the first things, of course, in the business world we're looking out for. What would it cost me financially if I let go of this thing? Now, in addition to that, what I want to look at is what is the cost of you not changing? So many people are in touch with, Wade, if I let go of this, last year it made me a few $1,000 or whatever it might be. And we might need to look at how many hours you invested. But what's it costing you if you don't change? So what's it costing you in time and effort? And perhaps one of the biggest ones, which is frustration if you keep working on this. And the reason why I believe and have experienced that frustration is such a big deal is because frustration is disproportionate in how it burns your time. It's kind of similar to when you get into an argument with somebody that you really care about. You might only be in an argument for 5 to 10 minutes, but a heated argument with somebody for 5 to 10 minutes can take as much energy as you exercising for an hour or two because there's so much put into it. And so when you're really frustrated by something, when there's a project that you just don't feel like it's you anymore, you don't want to be doing it, that can really steal a lot of your energy that you could be using to go forward. So I think of in my business, one of the projects that I've done for years keeps coming back and it makes some money for me. And very often I'll not do it and I'll move to something else. And if the other thing works, then I won't go to that project. But then some years when the thing that I tried, the new thing doesn't work, I'll go back to that tried and true one that I don't really care about that much just for the money. And it's not horrible and it's not bad. But when I look back at the number of times I've done that, it took up a lot of my time. And when I stopped doing that and started saying, here's where I'm going forward with this project, and I'm going forward regardless, and this other thing, I'm going to let go. And unless people just hunt me down for it, I'm not doing it. And then, even then, the people that said, Wade, I remember you used to do such and such. I don't see you advertising it much. Would you like help with that? At least with those people, I can say, sure, here's the premium version of that product. Here's where I charge a good amount. I've not been marketing it. I've not been advertising, and I get to do things on my terms. So also think about what project are you unable to start because you're still working on this stale one. And so that's something that so many people miss. They say, well, Wade, time is just, there's all the time in the world. And there's really not. Somewhere it's impacting your personal life, your family life, or just your energy to put towards a new project, or your ability to market or network with people or connect. There are certainly so many more possibilities to make things happen these days than there are time. And so if you are caught up in something that's not working for you, again, it's costing you. So now let's look at new possibilities. How can you eliminate or perhaps reduce this project with minimum losses? So again, I mentioned this idea of projects or businesses you've been in for a long period of time. You don't necessarily have to stop them. You don't have to let them go. You might say, wait, a huge part of my income comes from business A. I've been doing it for years. I'm not passionate about it, but I could either perhaps delegate part of it, or I could simply decide not to put as much focus on growing it and simply serve my existing clients well. That's one of the things I've done with one of my businesses. I serve the clients I've had. I keep them. I do a great job by them, but I don't really market a lot. So any business that comes in is referral business. So again, it's qualified business. I'm not investing a lot of time in it. So my hourly income on that is good. And my frustration level is okay because I'm not having to put a lot of time doing things that I really don't enjoy doing. Who can help with your exit strategy? This is something so many people don't consider. Very often, there might be somebody that can simply help you either get out of this project or, again, get out of the day to day cost that it's doing to you. So, again, it could be a freelancer. If you have a certain project and you could hire a freelancer to run that a certain number of hours per week, or if you have a business partner you used to work with or an employee you used to have, and maybe in a certain number of hours per week as a side hustle, they can do that. There's so many different ways you could get out of it somewhat and perhaps still reap some of the benefits from it. Now, even more importantly, what could you start instead? And so this is the balancing act. Now, if you're an entrepreneur and if you've done any research about millionaires, you'll probably have read the article or articles that say that most millionaires on average have 7 streams of income. Now, some of that's investing, but very often it's more than one business model. And as much as I've tried over the 20 plus years as an entrepreneur to simply have one business model that just does awesomely, I found that sometimes what I think will be great turns out to be so-so. What I didn't even think of turns out to be great. And if I'm listening to my clients, sometimes they'll ask for something that I'm not passionate about, but I'll deliver it because it helps them and because, yeah, it's profitable. So how could you start even slowly a more desirable and possibly more profitable venture? And could this be done without compromising your current one? Again, if that current one is paying your bills, not everybody can just take off and start a new venture. And not everybody, I remember when I was working in a business model and I was living at my parents' house, I was able to do that. I was saving all my money in a 401k and I could afford to do that. Now I'm married. We have 2 children. I can't just go live at my parents' house and save all my money and not have expenses. So depending on where you're at, you might still need to continue with what you're doing, but how could you do that in a way where you could build upon that? And then especially think about who has achieved success in the area that you wish to succeed in. That's usually going to be how you get there more quickly, whether that person is a coach or an author or a leader or a role model. You could simply look at what they do and seek to model that. And, or you could connect with that person, see, can you partner with them? Do they have a course? Are they teaching this? Can they mentor you? Whatever it might be, there might be ways you can make that happen. And so again, you could learn from them. You could perhaps partner with them. Maybe you could say, hey, if I can do this, I can send you some business this way. There's a lot of different ways you can work with people, and simply opening the conversation. If it's unique, if you reach out to them on LinkedIn, not with, hey, can you do me a favor, but a little bit of a perhaps more in-depth reach out that says, hey, I'm really passionate about this. I'm trying to do this. I love what you've done here. What's the best way that I can get started? Is there a course you have? And of course, you would have looked at their website and Googled that and see if you could find that as well. But there's a lot of times opportunities that you could get involved with that maybe you've not considered. And the most important part perhaps is, what if? What will life and be business like in a year if you try nothing new? If you don't change, is this going to be what you want? On the other hand, what will it be like if you try something new? Maybe it doesn't go to plan completely, but maybe you can tweak it. Maybe you can make some changes to it. Could you still move forward and make changes and go in the right direction? And then what if it works? So often we forget this is a possibility. It might work out. How awesome would it be if you get the result you're looking for and things work out? What would that be like? So the bottom line is, how do you want to live your life? How do you want to run your business? How do you want things to be done? Do you want it to be run by someone else? Or do you want to be able to have a say in how that goes? I'm going to suggest to you that being able to have greater control of your life, whether you're currently an employee, a freelancer, an entrepreneur, a side hustler, a business owner, whatever it might be, that the more influence you can have on how you invest your time, how you spend your time, and have the freedom to make those choices, that creates a better and more productive, impactful, sustainable, and happy life. And so there's two resources I have for you if you'd like. You can get this checklist, this list of questions, the spring cleaning checklist, if you go to 3dayweekendclub.com, and or you can join the community. So the community at 3dayweekendclub.com is an online community. It's free to join. There's some other advanced classes later where you can get into premium courses and whatnot. But to start out, it's a community to simply help people create an abundant and sustainable 3-day weekend lifestyle by being able to adjust their work, their income in such a way that that's possible. Now, it doesn't happen right away, but that's something that I've been able to do. I've had mentors that have helped me get there, and I'm committed to helping many people get there as well. So I hope you find this helpful. I hope this serves you. If you have any questions on how I can help you this, please let me know. And as always, I look forward to helping you create the life and the lifestyle you most desire so you can better enjoy your family, your friends, and your life. Thanks for listening.